Hi guys and girls, how's it going? Hi Alex, it's good to be back. Sorry about the small hiatus or however you want to say it, but I'm back. So I've got a few things to talk about today. So let's just first of all, um, you know, me and Alex hang out. We talked a little bit about what challenges we want to do, and we're still not 100% sure what we're sorting out, but we've got a few ideas. So something will come soon. And we're also wondering whether to do it in a more vlog like thing, or just to sit down and talk about what we've done and maybe have some screenshots. We're still working that bit out, so just give us a bit more time, and I'm sure we'll get some decent videos out about that, and some challenging stuff that all the push-up challenges and silly stuff like that. Hopefully we can get that sorted for you soon. So what I thought I'd talk about today is credit cards. So it's one of those things, especially in the UK. Again, I don't know what happens in other countries, but to be an adult and to have a good credit score, really you have to have borrowed some money from someone. I think it's a little bit of a silly thing, but say you're a first time buyer in a property, and you've never had a credit card, you never had a loan, you never borrowed money from any financial organisation. When it comes to looking for a mortgage, the mortgage brokers will look at your credit score, and I'll see there's virtually no information, so they can't tell whether you can be trusted or not. Therefore, you're unlikely to get a mortgage or the mortgage in the rate that you want. So it's really important that you have some sort of credit history so they can see how trustworthy you are. And of course, if you've got lots of credit cards and you're not paying them all off and things like that, then you're in trouble. You're blacklisted, and you have the lower or the higher percentages when it comes to mortgages and borrowing money and doing most adult related stuff. Of course, if you're a multi-billionaire and you have the money in cash there ready, then you don't really need it. But for most of us, you need some sort of credit rating, some credit history. So over the years, I've had a number of different credit cards because, for those who don't know, you tend to have a set amount of time where you'll get no interest added onto the money that you've borrowed. Um, and after that time's finished, if there's any money left on that account, on that card by the end of the month or whatever your payment date is, then you'll get charged a certain amount of interest. The interest can depend on what credit card you've used, what type of borrowing it is. But we're not going to go into that sort of detail today. Um, but for me, I've found what's been really important to me, besides, there's lots of different types of credit cards, and a lot of them do the same thing. Um, so it's really about how well they're marketed and how trustworthy they are, etc., etc. But actually, when I've got the credit cards, um, I've found that the, the the overlying factor is actually how good their interface is and how quick they are. And I've been really pleased with certain credit card companies and banks and whatever, and others I've just been really, really disappointed with. So I've got three old cards. I'm going to try not to show you the numbers just in case people want to track stuff down. But I really just wanted to sort of, tell you about the bad ones and the good ones that I've experienced, really. So first one I'm going to show you is my type of numbers Halifax credit card. I know with Halifax you can either have ones where you pay a little bit of extra money to get insurances and things like that, but overall I don't tend to do that. Personally, I think you can get cheaper insurances elsewhere, and just having a regular credit card to help with my credit score, that's fine with me. I think Halifax is really good. The online interface is really useful. They've got an app that you can just sort of fingerprint if you've got an iPhone or anything like that. I think the security is really good as well. If any odd amounts from odd places come up, they let you know straight away. And I think you know, once you put some money in, it takes a couple of days, but it comes up, you know, quite quickly. So, you know, anyone wanting to get a credit card, Halifax is the one I would definitely, you know, talk about sorting out. Um, Again, you know, we're not going into what interest rates are the best and what you know, money transfer or balance transfers or cash. You know, there's all these factors that you've got to keep in mind as well. But overall user interface and you know, talking to the helplines and things like that, I've had no issues whatsoever. The next one I want to talk about, I've got, is for Britain anyway, I don't know if you can see it, it's the post office. So the post office credit card, again, I think they had a really good rate. They have a really good app. It's one of those things that a lot of credit card places, they will have a basic app which will give you the basic information, but if you want to do anything more involved, then you need to go on their website. This is one of them, but when it comes to the app, it is actually pretty good. It gives you a lot of information, and it's got easy sort of click into the website options. Again, had no issues. When a payment's been paid, again, it happens really, really quickly. Again, a day or two at the most. If it's on a weekend, maybe a little bit longer, but overall, no issues. And again, all the people I've spoken to have been really good. So again, I can't fault them. Which brings me to my third one. So yeah, I think you can see what's going to happen here. Is actually again for Britain, M&S Bank. So M&S, I think, have been the worst interface, websites, and customer service that I've experienced on a credit card at the moment. M&S, I've found when I first got them, I think it was the middle of the month, so I had about 2 weeks until my payment was due. So I put some money into the account to make sure that I wasn't going to be going into getting any interest, you know, charged. And 2 weeks later, the money still had not gone in, and I ended up getting charged. I think it was £12 or something like that for no money going in. So I got penalised for something that I put in 2 weeks before, and their system just hadn't caught up yet. And then I tried to do a direct debit, and they ended up taking more money out than I wanted. And then I think, again, to calculate for being late again, and then after that, it then started evening out. So from their slow service, I lost out in about £25 just from them being slow and their interface not being very good. So obviously straight away that put a really bad taste in my mouth. So obviously I didn't stay with them long. But I think it shows that, you know, if I need a post office or a Halifax credit card and they're offered to me, they're ones I'd think about. But I think when it comes to my options, M&S I would never use again. Again, I think the interface was rubbish. They're still quite behind the times. They don't have online bills, and you know, if you're in this Save the Planet and Save the Trees, they send you a paper, you know, a letter with your bill every month, which I think is just rubbish. There's no option to change it to paperless or anything. Part of that might be from M&S is sort of known as something people in the older generation tend to use, and maybe that's not true anymore. I don't know, but the way I've always thought of it is it's been the older generation. So maybe they're catering for the older generation who still like paper copies of their bills. I don't know, but as a modern age sort of person who wants to make things easy and, you know, less waste in the world, I think that's pretty rubbish in my opinion. You get M&S Bank points, and so you can get stuff from M&S for it, but the amount of points you get for the use is very, very little, and it's not. I don't really think it's much of a perk. So I would just say avoid M&S credit cards if you can. if it's the only option and you need to do it, then you need to do it. But I don't think the interface is very good, so I would say avoid. So I'm not going to go into any more detail or talk about any others, but it's just sort of good to know if you're thinking about it and you haven't got a credit card. I'd say get one. Use it to pay your petrol or anything like that. Try not to do any big expenses or anything you can't afford. It's not worth it. Just try and pay it off every single month as best you can. Um, Always pay something into it, at least the minimum amount. Otherwise, you will get you'll get hit hard and you'll get stung hard. So be careful with your money. Be safe, and just don't use M&S Bank for the credit cards. I don't know about their other services, but that one just put a bad taste in my mouth. Anyway, guys, I'll speak to you later. I'll have more videos coming shortly and more frequently again, hopefully. Alex, I hope you're all good, and I'll see you soon. Cheers. Bye.